Greetings and welcome to my channel, Meta Messiah. I've been talking about Okinami token, Kanagawa Nami token for some time. And it's a mysterious token because the dev disappeared, which makes it more mysterious. But because of its stealth launch, July of last year. So we're getting close to almost a year here. Excuse me. Now that it's May, and people are really impatient. A lot of people have left, and that's fine. I've mentioned in my last video that Okinami token is a game of wits, like the last man standing, last female standing, last person standing. Squid Game-ish almost for crypto. It's kind of funny because there once was a token called Squid Token, and I don't know whatever became of it, but it actually blew up in a very short period of time and then imploded. It was much like Pepe. Peep. I call it Peep or Pepe. Pepe is the regular. I don't know why I call it Peep. Pepe the frog. Let me address this. It's not nonsense. It's part of the phenomenon of crypto. We saw it with Dogecoin. We saw it with Shiba Inu. And we're seeing it now with Pepe. And the frog is a very big meme community. The frog spans from the GIFs and the memes and the stickers and everything. It spans all over the world. Very recognizable, much like the Shiba Inu dog, which was the Dogecoin dog. And if you remember, Shiba Inu in the beginning was the Dogecoin killer. And then they kind of dropped, Shiba Inu dropped its Dogecoin killer thing. And started to basically evolve, and it got so big, people were like, well, this token is going to go somewhere because they're actually coming out with a swap, and actually have done a lot of the things up to this point in time, including the creation of Shibarium, which is just a matter of time. They've delivered on what they've said they're going to do. We have no idea what Pepe is going to do, but it's going to bring a lot of new people into crypto. I think that's a very good thing. The downside is all the people are going to lose money, when this thing tops out. They always top out and they crash, and they kind of look like a long line up, and then they come down. They do bottom out at some point, but the bottom takes a little while. And I just don't want to buy into that again and get my hopes up too high or sell too early. I considered it actually around getting in around 25 million market cap, and I'm like, nah, it's probably going to go up, but it's eventually going to crash. Maybe I would have sold it too early, and I've been like, oh, I could have got a lot more. In the end, they're gambles. All the meme coins in the end, oftentimes, and not every single one, because you have SHIBs out there. You have a Shiba Inu and a Dogecoin that lives through and survives the meme wars, so to speak, and crypto tokens. So the good thing, the upshot is Pepe will bring in a lot of new entry level or first time crypto buyers because of the hype over it. People love the iconography, and iconography is hugely powerful. It's been used throughout history in symbols to command audiences, followers, and loyal people. It's very influential. And they're harnessing the meme, even though the original artist of the meme has said, I have nothing to do with this. He may have a copyright claim to it, though. They are using his art to make money in the end, that community. And I'm sure based on its huge success, that the first thing that will probably collapse Pepe is a intellectual property lawsuit, which under federal law in the United States, a guy I don't know if he's under British law or United, I can't remember where he's from. Maybe he's United States. The guy who created Pepe, the likeness of his image that he's created, and he's like, I have nothing to do with that. They can claim it's possibly a parody, but the likeness is so much that there is a claim under the trademark, if he ever trademarked it, for dilution. There's a claim possibly under U.S. copyright law because of the likeness of the frog is so similar. It's just another portrayal of the frog in a different scenario that the creator didn't originally think about. So they may have a parody defense. I don't think, though, it's considered public domain per se. Even though he doesn't sue everybody that uses the GIFs or the memes, there'd be too many suits for all that. And I'm sure we don't know all the stories and the legal stories behind this yet. Some of them could be under non-disclosure, especially if they've been settled. Most likely out of the social media meme world where his artwork was used. Like I've told people before in prior videos, I studied some intellectual property law in law school. I do have a license to practice law. I don't currently actively practice law. I work in the financial industry instead, and I'm not practicing right now. So I have an inactive license, but I know something of what I'm talking about. So I think the first thing is going to be one of two things. The Securities and Exchange, Gary Gensler is going to be all over Pepe. He's going to say it's a security, everything. He says everything but Bitcoin's a security. So this SEC is going to probe it. SEC is probably going to cause the first major blow. And I think, second of all, the more likely scenario is SEC, Gary Gensler. The second scenario, not as likely, but still possible, is they get sued by the creator of the art, Pepe Art, which I don't have his name right here, but I watched the YouTube video about him, and he's aware of the token. He's aware of the cryptocurrency and its success right now. And I'm sure, considering that he doesn't want his artwork maybe to be remembered as a crypto thing, if I were the artist, I'd be very inclined to want my intellectual property right honored. And if that artwork I did had meaning to me, I'd try to get an injunction to stop using it, which will automatically change the iconography of the token, and it could cause it to crash. But, anything could happen. He might not care. Yeah, he might just move on, say, this is great. He might settle it and take a money settlement. Who knows? I don't know what his motivation would be. Some artists are very different. They might say, no, I want you to stop using my art for that. I own that. You can't reproduce it in that manner. I never gave you a copyright contract to use that. And I've seen this with a whole host. of tokens that are using other people's artwork. I saw Patrick Star token, and what else did I see? Nintendo's copyright ownership of Zelda. I'm sure we'll see Mario token. I'm sure we'll see a number of different things that are like very clearly someone else's trademark, very clearly somebody else's intellectual property right, and there will be litigation, and it will be nasty because no matter what you do, you cannot hide. Okay? They can shut down entire servers. They can shut down entire parts of the internet for violation of federal copyright law. It's very powerful law, and it's international. Great Britain, much of the EU, United States signs on to the same internet copyright laws that we enforce in our court system. Okay. There's some rogue nations, of course, like China and Vietnam and, areas of the world where they don't really abide by that. But EU, certainly, some parts of Asia, some parts of Africa, all over the world, though, Latin America, there are certain compacts on this law to protect copyrights and other intellectual properties like trademarks and so on and so forth. So we're going to see a lot of meme tokens, I think, eventually really crash after the first lawsuit. And those will be the ones that are borrowing art. Luckily for my token here, Okinami, they use Hokusai's artwork. And by now, because it's been well over 100 years, any type of reproduction, it's all public domain. Hokusai's the Great Wave off Kanagawa. Hokusai's artwork's public domain. You can't sue anybody. You can't sue anybody for it. Hokusai's dead, even if his family estate in Japan had a claim. The copyrights have since passed, and it was already a printed artwork. So they'll say, well, which print are you copying? There's so many digital reproductions. Like I said, it's like showing the Mona Lisa. They're tokens like that have their own logos made, crypto that have their own intellectual properties from scratch. or they use something in the public domain. Okinami and Great Wave off Kanagawa, Hokusai's artwork is very iconic, super iconic. It was one of the super iconic artworks of the late 19th century, early 20th century, and was put up in homes all over Europe and the United States, in rich people's homes. And if you had original woodblock print, it was very valuable. They started to go up considerably after the popularity of the yard. It's like the first NFT. these prints are like the first NFTs. Because they're non-fungible. I mean, yeah, a forgery, you might have a clever forgery, but even most art experts can look over a painting or artwork and say, yeah, that's forgery, you could tell. And these are the reasons why. Because they can detect tiny little things about the artist and the artwork that make it unique to that artist. You can never reproduce it. So that being said, and to close off here, this isn't just about Pepe and meme coins per se, but it's also about that in a sense, because once all that money, once all that liquidity, once all the profit or people covering losses, it starts to flow out of these big tokens, as it did with SHIB. A lot flowed back into Ethereum. They go back into the ERC20 ecosystem. Excuse me. I mean, someone's thinking about me. Who's thinking about me, man? Anyway, yeah, so it brings in new people, and then people looking at then they start to get, you look at other tokens, people start to get FOMO in on other things. And they say, well, we don't know if Pepe is going to be around a year from now. There's no utility. It's just currency if someone wants to accept it as payment. And you have to get a lot of acceptance on that to become very useful, which could happen. But either way, it builds a new ecosystem. It brings more people in. Is it bad? Maybe. Is it good? Maybe. I don't know. I always try to take a very Zen Buddhist approach on something. Say, is it bad? Maybe. Is it good? Maybe. And if it is in the end good, then I accept it. Either way, if it's bad, I accept it. But I see the potential of it being good in a sense, because once all that liquidity pours out of it, a lot of these copycat Pepe tokens too, like Bob and all that, once all that comes out of the frog tokens, it's going to go into serious projects. It's going to go into stuff that's sustainable, that has engineering, that has real blockchain use potential, real technology, not just a token like it says on their website of, and I'll put the images up here. It admittedly is some type of joke like Doge, like Dogecoin. It's not meant to be anything. And yeah, you could probably have devs that go out there and make various things. But in the end, if the token itself isn't programmed into any specific protocol, at best it can maybe be programmed with some apps, some dApps, rather, decentralized apps, protocols, whatever, do certain things. And that's a possibility. It depends how they choose to invest the money from the project and how the community sustains it. Because in the end, DeFi is all about community. But in the end, you have to have a central kind of organization within it. It's a brain center, really, is the dev. The dev is the brain center, the person calling the shots, the person who is got to have the technological capability and connections to do things right. And it has to have trust. If you don't have trust built into that system well enough, it's going to fall apart. I've seen it token after token after token. I've seen so many meme coins just are nothing now. They're worthless. And they have their day, and they've lost all their liquidity, and they're whatever. They're just sitting in dust wallets, collecting dust. They're not worth anything. So coming back to Okinami here in about a few months, I'd say probably August, most likely, we're going to actually see some stuff with the surge, with Ethereum, ETH Foundation releasing the EIP 4844. And 4844 is a huge, huge update, and it's going to allow for the sharding, scalability, and efficiency toward the goal of 100,000 transactions per second. I think there's some Visa collaboration with Ethereum, just like MasterCard is doing with other tokens. Polygon being one, I believe. MasterCard working with some other blockchains doing the same thing. Massive adoption is just around the corner. There's no doubt. You're so early on so many things, but a lot of these meme coins, once the season ends, and people are like, what's the point of holding this? I can't even get my money out of it if the liquidity dries up, if the use case is limited, and it's just hard to cash out, and it's costly to cash out. because Ethereum fees right now are going to be really high, but you're going to have to wait for the EIP 4844 to bring it down. It's going to happen. It's going to take potentially a whole year for it really to, be a huge success, and it's going to take time to get there. We'll see the release of it latter half of this year, and I really think Okinami is the surge token. I keep calling Okinami the surge token. I'd rather ride that wave than the meme coin craze any day. The meme coin craze always does its cycles, and I think Pepe will still be around like SHIB. I think it'll still be something, but it could moon and then come down considerably. They sometimes come down like up to 90%. And I wouldn't want to be holding the bag thinking, well, why didn't I just get in earlier? Or, I just don't even want to think about too many meme coins. I'll toss a little bit of a gamble into a meme coin, but it's a lottery ticket. And to get to the right one at the right time in the beginning, you just never know. There's so many tokens coming out, really, that's why utility tokens, altcoins, and the big boys the blue chips are what people focus on, because they know over time they'll make money. Just like the pink sheets, the OTC, those stocks come and go. Trust me. There's so many stocks that don't exist. Anyhow, please subscribe. Please hit the button subscribe. It's so easy to do. And you'll get more videos like this. I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade, Pepe, people, but trust me, I'm not going to recommend to buy it. And none of this is financial advice. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. But, while I'm asking you in the closing, to support my channel, I'm trying to be real with all of you. I've seen so many influencers and content creators. It's kind of bugging me a little bit, because as much as I would want to maybe make a video about a meme token, I don't. And the big reason why is because so many of them can fail. And I have talked about other meme tokens. To some, they're called meme tokens, but I don't believe that's inherently what they are. When I talk about other tokens out there that are potential LARP, live action role play, LARPs, people can come back. You want to say, well, you talked about Hoichi, he talked about Okinami. These are not meme coins. They have art. They may have NFTs, but they are not based on a popular meme. Okay? There might be iconography there, but they're not based on a popular meme. All right? Then you'll say, well, they're community tokens. Yeah, all tokens need to have communities. That's DeFi. It has to have communities, or else it's not DeFi. So then from there, I'll have to just in advance defend myself to say I'd like to talk about tokens I think that actually have some engineering, architecture, long-term commitments from their devs that are not looking to just rake people over. And that's why I think when the Ryoshi tokens come out, people are going to be like, yeah, the Ryoshi tokens are the real deal. These aren't the scams. They're more like the SHIBs out there with trusted devs, trusted communities. And then a lot of these other meme coins are just going to be like people cashing out, walking away with millions of dollars, fleecing a lot of the people who are into the meme coins. So just trying to warn y'all. So if you're interested in hearing what I have to say, because I'm not out there like Austin Hilton and Zach Humphreys and whoever, dudes, or Ahmed, Ahmed. You're going to get a bunch of people into these tokens. They're going to lose money. And I could end up doing the same thing. I could be guilty of the same thing. But I think we need to be more precise here and say, yeah, every single crypto token out there has a potential for loss and gain, and you can either make a lot or lose a lot. Only put in what you can lose. But when you're that big, I'm not as big of an influencer as these other accounts. These other accounts are hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm like 7,000. And if I were that big, I would take my influencer power with very much seriousness and quit pimping out tokens at that level. When you have that many people in your audience, you could totally FOMO them in and they lose money. And the SEC is already looking at content creators. If they consider you anything like a boiler room for crypto, you're done. You're done. And it's all about what you say. Okay? You could say, well, oh, FA, he's on his Okinami boiler room. Sure, you could say that, but I don't have 100,000 followers. And if I did, I don't know what I'd do about my coverage of Okinami. It would be left and right, disclaimer after disclaimer after disclaimer, and say, hey, since the beginning, I've been telling a story as part of the community, but it's because I believe in what the dev team's doing, and I'm not selling it as an investment. I'm saying this is an entertainment video channel. That's my content. And I'm talking about a story, and I'm trying to be as journalistic as possible about it because I don't know what it is. I can't say what it is. It's not a 500 million market cap coin. And at a 500 million market cap coin, if that's what Okinami became, I'd be so careful what I said about it. If I had even this many people watching me, I'd probably say, I'm just going to let the community talk at this point. I've said enough about it. I'm not going to sit here and continuously pump a token. I may talk about it objectively in writing and refer back to previous videos, but I'm not here to help people FOMO into the token. I could say I love to see people buy it. I could say I love to see people get into it, who are interested in it, and so on and so forth. But when I see a astronomical move in something like a Pepe, same thing with Shiba Inu, and then you're talking about it as people are FOMOing in, you're also enabling a lot of losers in this. And be very careful what you say. I'm not saying not to talk about Pepe. I'm not saying not to be an influencer at all about Pepe. But when you tell people, I buy this, I bought Pepe, you're trying to get them to buy it. Implicitly, you're trying to get them to buy it. Okay? But when you're doing that at the peak of a lot of these things, that's where it gets dangerous. Better talk about things when they're down and they're not in that FOMO stage. Okay? And then I'd mince my words only if I were somebody who was trying to be a salesman trying to get you to FOMO. But I don't. I will not mince my words. I'm not trying to get anyone to FOMO. If you don't want to be in Okinami, sell your tokens. If you want to make a profit in Okinami, sell your tokens, make a profit. If you want to hold them, great. But I won't tell you when I, am buying anything or how much I own. I won't talk about that. Okay. Do I have skin in the game? Yeah, I have the skin in the game like the rest of you guys. But I don't talk about disclose my positions. I don't say how much I have. I might occasionally in the Telegram say, yeah, I think I might add some more here or whatever. But on my videos, I don't do that. Not on my videos. I will just say blanket disclosure. I have skin in the game, but that's enough. That's all I need to tell you. Okay? You don't need to know how much. You don't need to know how little. Okay? But in the end, and I want to be very specific to the Okinami community, you have been huge supporters of my channel. Thank you for your support. But if we want to get stories out there about Okinami, the whole community has to be doing what I'm doing or share my video if you're not going to make one. Okay, communities build the token. We market the token. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being like these meme communities. They have tremendous communities that are selling their tokens. Okay? But at the influencer level, when you're up here selling on something, just be careful. I don't want people to lose money. I'll say this about Okinami. You could lose everything. I'm not going to tell you to buy it. I'm not even going to say I buy it. I'm not even going to say I buy it. I love the story. And if that's enough for me to talk about the story, I'm here till the end because the story is that good to me. I will cover it till the end because it's an interesting story. We don't know what it is yet. Maybe nothing in the end, but I believe it is. I believe it's connected to the surge, EIP 4844. And if that doesn't satisfy you in total, I'm talking about crypto on my own level, a collective ecosystem, I think that are Ryoshi related, Ryoshi spirited, connected to the ETH Genesis wallet and big time wallets, those behind Shiba Inu, those behind this vision for DeFi. That's the community I support. And I want to talk about it because I support it and I feel passionately about it. And if you don't feel that way about something, then you're there just to invest or you're there to trade, and that's fine. Okay. If you're just there for a pecuniary interest, money only, good. Chase your dream, chase your goal. Get in, get out, stay as long as you want. It doesn't matter, but always be careful. Be clear in your words. Be clear in what you say. We don't want to be... There's some memes that went out there for Okinami that show Pepe riding the wave. That was just a joke. And we have to be careful and preface what we're saying. The point of saying, we're not Pepe. We have utility. Pepe, we don't know what it is. We don't even know what Okinami is. But we have things underlying what we are that make it not a meme coin. So by contrast, distinguish ourselves from that. So I'll just end in one last message to the Okinami community. We are not Pepe. We are not a meme coin. We are a serious crypto project with a very serious goal, with an engineering goal of 100,000 transactions per second. EIP 4844. This is some serious stuff. This is an undertaking that is huge. And so we should present the project as professionally and as clearly as possible. It's okay to have a meme here and there, but let's stick to this, to the marketing plan. Let's stick to the plan. I mean, whatever we think it is, we should be talking about, which is the surge. The surge. So thank you again for watching. Keep it on task. Keep it on message. But because we had a meme that connected to Pepe, I'm going to talk about it today and promise you that we are not a meme coin. Till next time. Bye now.